On my last endeavor of sewing a dress for Santa's sugar baby, I found this fabric in the depths of my favorite fabric store, and I immediately knew this needs to become a New Year's Eve dress. Now, because I am a busy woman, and maybe because I procrastinated just a little bit, I effectively had one day to finish it. No pressure, very chill. So it's 2 p.m. now. Let's see if I can finish this dress today. For the design, I had this sudden epiphany, a silhouette inspired by Sailor Moon. That iconic pinched waist, flared skirt, big bows energy. As a teenager, I was very into anime, Nintendo games, all of that. And what I always wanted was kind of a low-key cosplay. Clothes and jewelry inspired by pop culture, but still wearable in real life. So this dress is more Sailor Moon vibes than full magic girl transformation sequence. Let's see if I even have enough fabric for that plan. I always sew without a pattern and just make pieces up as I go, which means it's always a fun little surprise how much fabric I end up using, even though it definitely doesn't keep my stress levels low. Now, back to Sailor Moon. I watched it as a kid and I still love it, but I honestly forgot most of the plot because I am ancient by Gen Alpha standards, so that was a long time ago. I've been considering rewatching it in French though to brush up on my language skills. Let me know if this absolute classic is worth revisiting or if I should just keep the nostalgia untouched. Because the skirt goes into a slight V shape at the waist, I decided to add some boning to keep the silhouette clean. You know, starting strong with those clean girl New Year's resolutions, getting ahead. Ahead of whom, you ask? Great question. I haven't thought that far. Isn't it interesting how humans constantly see competition where none actually exists? I get why. Competition is motivating, but sometimes self-improvement turns into a weird superiority race, and I'm not sure that's the most sustainable motivator. Because as the internet reminds us daily, no matter how good you are at something, there's probably an Asian kid who's better than you, and also younger. What's worked better for me this year is focusing on growth instead of comparison. Competing only with yourself is harder to measure, but also impossible to lose. And yes, everyone knows this advice, but I feel like I only actually understood it this year. Okay, wow, that got a little deep for a silly sewing video. So here's me being excited. You know, this feeling of the dress coming together so beautifully is really amazing. It is now 12:30, so I think this is pretty good progress. This is how far we've come. I think I'm gonna go to bed now first and then finish that tomorrow before 2, because then I will have finished it in 24 hours, which is basically a day. So yeah, I think I'm gonna do it like that. The next morning, after a very refreshing 5.5 hours of sleep, I started by non-violently removing the zipper from a dress I found. So it is the next morning. It is around 11 a.m. and I have already taken the zipper out of this dress that I still had, and I will now just put that zipper into the dress. So the only thing that is still really missing are the straps, as you can see, and the zipper. So it's still open. It's kind of see-through, so I will have to put something underneath. And I'm not entirely sure if this piece of fabric will be enough for that, but maybe I'm gonna make a little bow to go on the back. But I really don't have a lot of fabric left. I only have like this strap and this, so bear with me. The thing is, I thought of making sleeves, like little puff sleeves, but I don't have enough fabric for that, and I don't have any similar fabric, and it is Sunday. So in Germany, all stores are closed today. And also I have to go to a Christmas dinner today. Why do I do everything last minute, you ask? I don't know. I'm kind of regretting it right now. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out until now. Like, it looks so cute. I love the boning detail as well. You can see it on the other side a little bit. So I just used this fabric that I had left over from Lisa's VMA dress DIY and put it in the back to have a little canvas basically. And everything else is just one layer of fabric. Normally, if you have a fabric like this, which is so see-through, you would put lining underneath, but I am lazy and I am last minute, so I don't have time for that. But if you were to do something like this, I would highly recommend adding some lining, something like this, over the whole dress. But yeah, this is just what I still had at home, so... After putting the zipper in, all that was left was closing the skirt and adding straps, which was great because I was, once again, in a time crunch. I genuinely cannot work on personal projects without pressure. Working on something no one asked you to do purely for yourself is way easier to procrastinate on, at least for me. My motivation kinda works like an old engine. It doesn't start gently. You have to really push it. And once it's running, it runs perfectly fine. But look at this sparkle. My inner child was so happy. Okay, we're done. I think it turned out pretty cute. It is now a little past 1. So I actually finished everything in, I think, around 23 hours. So within 1 day. I'm pretty proud of myself. It turned out better than I imagined, actually. Against all odds, I even managed to add the bow in the back. And this is the final result. Can you tell the Sailor Moon inspiration? Let me know in the comments.
Sehr gut. Perfekt. Toll.